everybody, it's Randy Martin from Trilogy Event Design. Doing my Facebook Live from the car today because I am on the move and running around. It's Father's Day. Oop. Sorry about that. It's Father's Day and there's just so much to do. So I am totally dedicated to making sure that I continue with my Facebook Live series for you guys, and hopefully my signal's not going to be weak and you'll be able to get connected and see what I'm doing and hear what I'm saying and all that kind of stuff. So if you jump on, let me know. Tell me you're here. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about, lots to do, lots to see. Well, not a lot to see from my car, but anyway, it's Sunday, it's Father's Day. There's a lot for everybody to be doing, so I will appreciate whoever decides that they want to jump on here live. If not, you'll get to see the recording when I post it after we're done with this half hour. So again, it's an interactive question and answer. You can ask me whatever questions you want to ask me so that I can respond to the things that you really want me to be talking about. I also want to just really quickly give some shout outs to whoever's on. So if you type in the comments that you're here, whether you're a bride, a wedding professional, a groom, a member of the wedding party, a mother of the bride or groom, just let me know why you're here, who you are, so I can give you a shout out. If you can't hear me, please say so in the comments so I can try to make whatever adjustments are necessary for you to be able to hear me while I'm in the car. And again, hopefully my signal won't be too weak for us to continue for the entire half hour. So, since it's Father's Day, first let me give a big shout out to all of the dads. Happy Father's Day, dads. Whether you're the father of the groom, father of the bride, or if you are a groom who is also a father, kudos to you all who are involved in your children's lives. Even if you're just a father figure, it's so important that kids have male role models. So kudos to all of you dads. So while I'm thinking about dads, let's talk a little bit about, the father of the bride. He has a big role in the wedding, right? If you're paying for the wedding, that's awesome, but that's not what I'm talking about. Basically, I'm talking about, your duties as the father of the bride to walk your daughter down the aisle. Sometimes it's very emotional for both of you to share that moment together. So, let your emotions out. You don't have to be the stone-faced patriarch all the time. It is an emotional time and you should be able to express your emotions, and it's awesome in the photos and on the video when we see the softer side of dads. We just had a wedding on Friday where the father of the bride pulled out a stuffed bunny. So while he was giving a speech about his daughter and how happy he is on her wedding day, he was holding this big stuffed bunny, and I'll have to make sure that I post a picture of it on our Facebook page at some point over the weekend. But it was so sweet to hear the story that he was telling about this bunny. So, he was talking about how all of his children are so important to him, but his one and only daughter captured his heart from the moment that she was born, and she could pretty much get whatever she wanted from him. So she saw this bunny in the store, and her mom was like, no, you don't need that. You can't have it. And he turned around and went back to the store and bought it anyway. So he gave this bunny to her as a little girl, and she cherished it her whole life, and she still had it, and it was in great condition on her wedding day. So he, held on to it while he was talking about their relationship and, the importance of her in his life and him in her life, and it was just so sweet. Now, some other part of the father of the bride's duty is to dance with your daughter, at her wedding. So this is pretty much, a ritual that symbolizes transitioning from, a daughter who is cherished by her father to a wife who is now cherished by her husband. So when you're doing your father-daughter dance, and this message goes to the brides and to the dads, make sure that you pick a song that has some special meaning to you, something that represents your relationship with your dad. Don't just pick a song at random just because it sounds like it might be good. If it doesn't have any meaning, it's not going to be as special. Think about who your father's favorite music artists are, or a song that maybe came out while you were growing up, and every time you hear it, you think about your father. Or a song that actually has a message that talks about the relationship between father and daughter, and it actually means something special to you. Hi Jenna, thanks for posting that you're here. Everybody else, if you want to get a shout out, say that you're here, but I also want to know if you're a bride or a bridesmaid or a mother of the bride or anything like that. So keep letting me know that you're here and that you're listening, and post questions. I really want to answer your questions instead of just thinking of things to talk about. Let me get back to what I was saying about the father-daughter dance, though. So I was saying that it should have some special meaning. We want your dance to actually be a special moment between bride and dad. For me personally, when I got married, my dad passed away before I got married, and I danced with my brother. So I have 4 brothers, but one that is the closest to my age. He and I were dancing to the Luther Vandross song "Dance with My Father," and amazingly, my brother looks just like my dad. So this was, a really special moment for me and my brother to actually share the meaning of the song, and just share that moment. But then my dad's brother got up and he broke into the dance. He cut in and he started dancing with me because I'm his favorite niece. No, I'm not. I'm just saying it. But anyway, so it was my wedding. So, I was his favorite that day. But he cut into the song so that I was dancing with somebody who was more of a patriarch of the family. Even though that wasn't planned, it was very spontaneous. It was still very special and meaningful to me. So in talking to some of the brides who I've had consultations with, and they have questions about things like, they have their biological father at the wedding, but they may also have their stepfather at the wedding who has been more instrumental in raising them than their biological dad did, but they don't want to make either one of them feel like they're not equally special to her. That is a moment that you can actually share with both of them. So if you start out the dance, let's say you start out the dance with your biological father, because he actually is the one that was there from the beginning of your conception, not even your life. He was there from the very beginning. And then maybe halfway through the song, you transition to dancing with your stepfather, who is a person who had more of a role in your life as you began to get older. So that transition actually symbolizes your relationship. You can also do the same. I'm sorry, I almost canceled the video. I hope everybody's still here. Again, I'm in the car trying to balance the phone and it kind of slipped. So, so you can, when you're walking down the aisle, you can have one of your dads walk you down the aisle halfway and then hand you over to the other one to walk you the rest of the way down the aisle. Or you can walk with both of them side by side, whichever actually makes you feel most comfortable and makes them. So anyway, like I was saying, the other thing that you can do, if my video keeps pausing because of the connection, I'm so sorry. If you have a stepmother, and her and your mother are on okay terms, please make sure that you are acknowledging her in some way, even if it's just giving her a corsage. This will help your father, with trying to, maintain some camaraderie between your mother and your stepmother. Also, making sure that your stepmother does not become ostracized at your wedding. She doesn't feel like she's unimportant. Even if she does not really have a special meaning to you, she's a special person in your father's life, and you want your father to be happy on your wedding day and not have to deal with other drama that has nothing to do with you. So give her a corsage. Just give your stepmother a corsage and make everything kind of, you know, I don't know, make it kind of special just a little bit. Victor, thanks for the note. I know that the video feed keeps cutting in and out because my signal is weak. I'm hoping that the messages that I'm portraying or trying to relay are getting across to everybody. Because I'm in the car, I just can't do anything about the signal. I'm so sorry. If necessary, I can just post some comments about what you're missing once I see the replay and I can tell what parts were missed. How's that? I think that should work. Okay, so anyway, if you have any questions or comments or something that you would like to hear me talk about, or something that, you know, you have heard before and you want my opinion on it, post it in the comments so that I can respond and give you either a quick tip or some advice on a situation that you may be dealing with that would kind of be a help for you with planning your wedding. So we talked about, you know, the father-daughter dance. We talked about walking down the aisle with your father. We talked about walking down the aisle if you have a father and a stepfather, or if you have, you know, some other father figure that you would like to honor in that way during your ceremony. Other things that I have had to answer questions about is memorials. So if your father has passed away, but you want to memorialize him and give him a special honor during your wedding, how do you do that? So you can have a memorial table. Sometimes there are multiple people who you want to have represented at your wedding who are no longer with you. So you can have framed pictures of them with a candle lit in memory of their life or their special connection to you. Jenna, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Is that a Z? You're falling asleep? Sorry. Ask me a question and I'll answer whatever your question is. I know that I've been cutting in and out, but if you ask me a question, I will answer your question instead of just rambling on and on. So, but the memorial table is a nice way to honor your father or other people who have passed, who you want to spotlight during your ceremony. You can also place a flower in their chair and have that be their reserved seat. So that would be the place where they would normally have been sitting if you were... Oh, I'm sorry, Jenna. Your dad passed away. So are those tears that you are showing me? I'm sorry. I couldn't tell what the emoji was. So, yes. So, as I had mentioned before, my father had also passed away prior to me getting married. So it was special for me to have some way to honor him even though he wasn't there. So you can do that again. You can do that with a flower in his seat, a framed photo, with a candle lit. You can also, you know, maybe have something written in your ceremony program that mentions, you know, him in memory. So those are just some ways that you can remember your father during your ceremony. And then at the reception, you can also do the same types of things. You can have the memorial. You can have maybe a special song played. You can have somebody stand in for your dad who was close to him and also close to you. So I had my brother. My brother is younger than me, but he is my oldest brother, and he looks just like my dad's, and he walked me down the aisle and he danced with me at the time where we normally would have a father-daughter dance. So there are so many ways that you can still honor dad. So I've been talking about dad a lot today just because it's Father's Day, but we don't only have to talk about dads. So if you have a question or something that you would like me to specifically answer for you during this time that I'm talking, please post it in the comments so that I can read the question. I can answer your question. I don't want to just have you listening to everything that I want to talk about. I picked the topic just because of the day. And I do want to just say that, a lot of the times when we have parents who are no longer together, like, either they were never married or they're divorced or, they have some kind of estrangement, it tends to play out in the wedding. So you want to make sure that you have conversations with them prior to the day of your wedding to let them know that this day is about you, not about them. So if they were able to come together to make you, they should also be able to come together on this one day to help you celebrate a very special moment in your life. And I do have to give credit to my bride from Friday, who is Cece, and she's the one who told her parents that, and they complied. They even walked arm in arm into the reception for introductions together without any drama at all. They sat at the table and ate together without any drama at all. I get a sense that other times there has been some drama between them, but they were able to squash it at least for one day. So that is very important. Sometimes if it is not necessarily in their nature to be able to squash it, you have to separate them. So you can arrange for your reception seating that, normally it's the parents of the bride and the parents of the groom. They have their separate tables and they have their close family and friends there at that table together. If necessary, you can have a table for the mother of the bride or the groom or whoever it is that this situation applies to. But you can have the mom's table and then have a separate table for dad so that he's not feeling like he's forced to sit with your mother. She's not feeling like she's forced to sit with your father. And they'll be able to get along just fine because they're not sitting together. Also at the ceremony, you can have your mother sit a row ahead of your father so that they're not forced to sit next to each other and feel uncomfortable. So there's lots of ways that you can play out the bad blood or hard feelings between parents at your wedding without it causing a big to-do that distracts from the reason why they're there in the first place. So, that's just another tip of ways that you can do that. So, I have tons of ideas and tons of tips about all kinds of things for your wedding. So even if you haven't asked me your question today, feel free to come and talk to me personally. We can have a one-on-one. We can sit and have a cup of coffee, or I happen to like champagne and Prosecco to be very precise. So if you want to come and have coffee or a cocktail with me in my office, we can sit down and have a conversation about what questions you actually have about your wedding specifically, instead of it being a broadcast on Facebook. Or if you need some additional help, either planning or referrals for wedding professionals, or even if you have no idea where to start with your budget, those are things that we can sit down and talk about. So I do offer an initial meeting for 30 minutes just to kind of get to know who you are, what you need from me, how I can best serve you, and then we can move forward and actually get started with helping you to plan your wedding. A lot of people have never planned a wedding before. I would assume that most people who come to meet with me have never planned a wedding before. Even if it's your second marriage, you don't want it to be like the first one. So there's a lot of things that you don't know that you don't know. There's a lot of things that you would like to have done better if this is your second time around. You probably are getting opinions from a lot of different places, from people that you work with who just got married, or from your mother who has been dreaming about your wedding since you were a little girl, or just other people in your life in general. They all mean well, but they may not know how to give you the best advice. So it helps to have a neutral third party that you can go to who happens to be an expert at planning weddings. I cannot say for sure that all of the people who are giving you opinions have planned as many weddings as me. So why not come and talk to me? So the initial meeting is actually free. There's no obligation for you to hire me just based on that first meeting, but it gives us some time to kind of get to know each other, get to know if we can work together, if it's something that is going to be beneficial for you. I actually will not offer services that I don't think that you need. I will give you some direction as far as where I can help you, and then it's up to you to decide if that's something that you want to do. So there's no pressure once you come and meet with me. I'm not going to charge you for the cup of coffee. Just come and talk to me. So my office is located in Hatboro. It's Trilogy Event Design, 55 North York Road, Suite 200, Hatboro, Pennsylvania. If you're not familiar with the area, we're about 10 minutes from Willow Grove Mall. Most people know where the malls are. So we're 10 minutes from Willow Grove Mall in Montgomery County. Very close. Oh, Allison, hi. I just saw your question. So, thoughts on how to handle bridesmaid dresses and tuxes and other costs when most of the people in your party struggle financially. Okay, that's an awesome question. So, tuxedos are really not that expensive to rent. Stick with basic black tuxedo, and then have the guys wear a color vest and tie that will complement the bridesmaids' dresses. The bridesmaids' dresses tend to be more expensive, and it's a big expense to even be a bridesmaid in somebody's wedding. So my advice would be for you to pick a color that is not unusual, a common color, and then just tell your bridesmaids that you want them to wear this color dress, and then let them go buy a dress on their own. So they don't feel like they're obligated to buy something that's fancy that they'll never wear again. They can, you can even ask them to wear something that is knee length versus being a ball gown, so they'll be able to repurpose and reuse this dress again. So that, in my opinion, is the best way to make it cost effective for your bridesmaids. Now, if you would prefer that they do wear a full length dress that is a ball gown, or that they wear the same dresses, you can also go to Rent the Runway. So I don't know if everybody knows about Rent the Runway, but it's renttherunway.com. They rent dresses, so you can get the dress mailed to you. It comes to you by UPS. You go online, you pick your dress, you have it sent to you by UPS a couple of days before the wedding or the event that you're planning for. And this tip also works for the rehearsal dinner dresses for the brides. So your dress comes in 2 sizes. You pick what 2 sizes they are, but you pay for one, you get the other size for free, just in case they run small or run big, or they do give you the stylist note so that you know if it runs small or big, but you'll be able to try it on and see which one fits you best. You pay minimal amounts of what the dress would cost if you bought it off the rack or bought it from a store, and then when you're done with it, you mail it back in a few days after you've worn it. You don't have to pay for it to be dry cleaned. You don't have to pay for the shipping to send it back. You just stick it back in the garment bag that they send it to you in, and that's it. So that is a really, really great way to have your bridesmaids wear dresses that are affordable and gorgeous. So that is pretty much my best tip that I can ever give anybody. Again, the bride can do the same thing for your bridal shower, for your rehearsal dinner. Even if you have a small budget to work with, you can get a Rent the Runway dress as your wedding dress. Why not? Mothers of the bride can do the same thing. Sorry, guys, they don't have Rent the Runway for men yet. It's possible that it's coming soon, but your tuxedos, like I said, are nowhere near the cost of what these dresses cost for the ladies. So those are my tips for the day. Again, if you want to schedule a personal consultation with me so that we can talk further about things that have been keeping you stuck or that you just can't figure out on your own, feel free to schedule an appointment with me for an initial meeting. Go to my website. It's trilogyeventdesign.com, or even on our Facebook page, there's a link that says book now. You can schedule an appointment right through Facebook and just click that button. I hope that this information has been super useful to all of you. I wish you a wonderful, happy Father's Day. For those who have lost their father, just take a moment and remember your father, or spend some time with your future father-in-law today. It doesn't have to be a sad day. So, enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day outside. It's a little hot, but it's that time of the year. At least it's not raining like it was yesterday. So everybody, enjoy your day. I hope that you'll see us again soon. We will be back, or I say we. I will be back next Sunday. I hope you'll join me at 2 o'clock for another Facebook Live. Until then, have a fabulous